Hey, everybody. Welcome to the YouTube Lead Generation Show, hosted by Christina Smallhorn and myself, Malcolm Lawson. Christina and I have generated millions of views and tens of thousands of subscribers on YouTube. And on this show, we mastermind about using YouTube for lead generation in our real estate businesses. And today, we've got a very special guest, Jeremy A. Knight, YouTube Hall of Famer from Austin, Texas. Jeremy, how are you, man?
Hall of Famer. Okay, I'll take it. Good. I just noticed that you said Jeremy A. Knight, and I had to put that in because there's another Jeremy Knight in Austin that doesn't do very much business, but has called me, hey, thanks for being so popular because I get business because of you. So that's why I added the A in my name.
Yeah, screw that guy. Jeez.
Yeah.
Coattails.
I think you might have turned off your microphone. I think you might be going through your... because it sounds different now.
Who are you talking to, me or him?
Malcolm Lawson.
Oh, no. What? My microphone cable keeps coming loose. I think I bent the cable. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. It just isn't the same clarity as when you have the actual microphone using it.
All right. Yeah.
Come on, Malcolm.
Stand by. I know. I'm such an amateur. Jeez. All right.
I know.
Is that better?
No.
Test. 1, 2, 3.
We can hear you fine. It just isn't that same.
What? I can't hear anything.
Oh.
What? Hold on. Audio.
Well, while he's just
mic.
trying to figure his stuff out, I want to say congratulations on making 1,000 subscribers, Mr. Jeremy Knight.
Yeah.
And I also want to say that you've now become monetized, so you can make that big YouTube money. That's always a step in the right direction. And I know that some people say don't turn on ads because they feel like it takes away from people actually watching your content. And I would like to get your opinion on how you feel about that now that you've been monetized.
I don't know yet. I mean, I haven't seen really any ads on my channel yet. Once I start seeing the big guys, the big real estate guys in my neighborhood start advertising on my channels, probably the moment I won't be very happy about it. But
this never happened to me, and I don't know anybody that does happen to. Do you know what advertising I see on my channel and everybody else I know that's in the real estate business? It's people that are advertising how to get rich quick in real estate by using their flip a house technique or wholesaling homes technique. It's never other real estate agents selling their business or advertising their stuff.
That's a good idea. I should make a video talking smack about those people. That way they pay for ads on a video that I'm talking smack about.
Genius. Do it.
That's it. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes, you sound better.
Much better.
Much better.
Yeah, man. I mean, so the thing is, though, most agents are not smart enough to know that they can run ads on other people's channels. But that is something you can do. If you have a big team near you or something that's also monetized, yeah, you could run ads in front of all their YouTube videos.
A little word of warning on that, though. Make sure you do the right kinds of ads that you run on those, because a Facebook style ad is not going to work in the YouTube sphere. You're going to have to get with somebody that understands the type of ads you need to get the right kind of business on YouTube. Don't think because you know all about ads manager and ads on Facebook that you're going to be able to knock it out of the park on YouTube. You're going to have to do it right.
So here's how I've been handling that. So my bigger, broader videos are just about real estate in general that get viewed from people all around the country and probably don't generate me that many leads. I let ads run on those videos, and those ones do generate me a good bit of money. The very hyper specific videos about a specific neighborhood or a specific city, I just don't run ads on those. One, because they're not really getting a whole lot of views anyway. And yeah, if I lose one lead, that's thousands of dollars I'm going to lose there because of that. So that's kind of how I've been approaching it. Most of my videos I turn ads on, some very specific ones I don't turn ads on.
I guess that makes sense. I never even thought of it that way. I just have them on.
Yeah.
I just have them on. I never even thought of it that way, but it never analytics wise, I know that people are like, well, as soon as I see an ad, I turn it off. So there's no way I'm going to do it on my own channel. I don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze. Okay. That's never happened. When the ads came on, my analytics did not change. The same amount of people were watching an X amount of time. They're all skippable. I mean, they watch for 5 seconds and they could skip it. Most people they understand that this is YouTube, that YouTube runs ads. It's one of those things, and they can skip them. Big deal. Big deal.
I've heard people say that. I've heard one camp say, don't put ads on your videos because it's going to hurt the performance. People are not going to watch as much as your video if there's ads on there. And I've heard other people say that YouTube only promotes videos that have ads on it because that's the only videos that they make money on. So it's I think both answers are kind of nonsense. Honestly.
I do too. I just think it's culturally acceptable on that platform to see ads. Doesn't matter what kind of video you're watching. You just know that you're going to get an ad, period.
Yeah.
And so who cares? Run the ads. But it makes sense to me what you were saying about like a whole hyper local not having an ad on there. That makes sense to me. But if it's a general video, just put the freaking, I mean, you make a little bit of money. You get some of the money back that you put into the production and the time and effort. I mean, if it's $100 at the end of the month, it's $100 you didn't have before the beginning of the month. Who cares? Do it.
Yeah.
Better than what Facebook gives you, which is you got to freaking pay for them to see your videos, which is total nonsense.
Right.
So Jeremy, 1,000 subscribers, how long do you think it took you to get there? And how many videos do you think that you had to make before you got to 1,000 subscribers?
That's a great question. So I started my channel years ago, but I was just throwing like a video on here or there. I would say last year I really started doing video. It's a lead. That's a lead right there.
Hey. No excuses. They have to wait.
Yeah, you see, he's like sweating. He's like, oh my God.
I want to buy $1 million house. Like,
that happened yesterday. Yeah. So I was putting listing videos on there, and then I was like, okay, I want to get monetized on YouTube and make money on YouTube. So I started doing like kind of funky, fun videos that I wanted to do. So I was doing like silly videos, like real estate dad jokes and stuff like that. And then around like December of this year, I realized that was all of my stuff wasn't going anywhere. It was cool to do listing videos. My listing videos were getting traction, but I wasn't getting anything out of the listing videos really. So I had a heart-to-heart with Christina in probably December, and I was like, what the F am I doing wrong? And she's like, well, nobody really wants to watch your stuff. Sorry. And so she was very blunt, which I needed. And so I sat back and kind of I'd always looked at stuff I didn't like, and I wouldn't make videos like that. Like a lot of agents make those like, this is how you buy a home videos, stuff like that. How do you refi a home? Like stuff like that. I hate that. It's so boring to me. Now there's an audience for that. It's just not what I wanted to do. It just bored me to tears. So I really kind of looked at what I needed to do kind of in late December. And so that's when I revamped my channel. I begrudgingly listened to the advice of Christina. Many times she was like, just shut up and do it. And so I've consistently put out a video since probably the end of December. So end of December to July. So really like 7 months. And then my goal was really to be monetized by July. And guess what? Monetized.
Hey, made your goal. Good.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was your goal. The other advice I had given him, which was like kind of hard for him, is stop putting your links on social media. And then I'd bust him. And then I'd stone cold bust him. I'll be like, hey, Jeremy, like, are you ever going to listen to me? Because I just saw you posted like, well, and then he'd have all these excuses. I'm like, stop doing it. You want to know why your channel's not growing. You're killing yourself. Stop it.
Yeah. The other thing that I was doing was, and I did this a while ago, so don't hold it to me because I changed up everything really late December, January, is I was running ads on my listing videos to get people to watch them. Right. So people are like, how are you getting 3,000 views on your listing videos? I'm like, well, I'm running ads in California, New York. Like I'm running ads all over the place to target audience from YouTube. And I'm getting like 3,000 or 4,000 views. So I stopped that completely, stone cold, stopped that in January. And so I think since then that kind of helped my channel as well, where I wasn't paying for ads. And I think, Malcolm's talked about this a little bit about still paying for ads, not paying for ads. So I haven't. I wanted to get monetized before I did another paid ad again. So I'll start running ads next week.
Good. Yeah, man, I'm not against running ads. Like I've got a few that I want to run. Like one thing that you can do with ads, which is really cool, is that somebody could visit your website and then you could retarget that person with your YouTube ads just to kind of stay in front of them.
Yeah.
That's one that I've been wanting to do. And I got a couple other ones that I want to do. I just haven't done it yet. And how'd that work out for you running the YouTube ads? Do you think it ever really led to any real leads? Because I've done experiments with it. I've never really had a whole lot of success with the YouTube ads that I've done that I can tell.
I cannot think of a specific video that I did on YouTube that I paid for that made money.
Yeah.
Now, it did make me money from Facebook, right? So if I would upload the video, and I wouldn't say run ads on Facebook, but if I put it on Facebook, that's where I was making money on it. So, and Christina kept encouraging me to organically upload those videos to YouTube, to Facebook. So I think once I started doing that, it really helped my channel, where I wasn't getting, you'd look at the analytics from a video and it was like 60% external, and my watch time on a 5-minute video was like 33 seconds. Mm-hmm. So that is something that definitely helped my channel go in the right direction. But I can't say any video that I ever did in the past, I really can't point to one that this one made me money. Now, since doing that, since changing over and being very consistent on YouTube, and putting out content that people are searching for, not just listing videos, I can point to probably all of the 35 videos that I've put out this year. Like I've made money pretty much off every single video.
That's awesome.
That's great. Yeah, let me show you something real quick here. So if I go over to Social Blade, yeah, so here's your channel. So you said you started talking to Christina right around December, January. Yeah. So that's right around here. And yeah, you can definitely see a huge increase in your viewership. You're going from about 300 views a week to now you're getting about 3,500 views a week.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's fantastic that you can completely flip a channel around like that in just 6 months, really. You're able to,
how many months was that little spike, that first spike? I can't really see the first spike to where it really started to go off. There you go. So early May. Okay. So April.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So right around here. Yeah. Right around here. April is when it really started picking up. And yeah, dude, it's just growing and growing, and it's going to keep growing. And what's going to happen is, your baseline is going to change.
Yeah.
So your baseline used to be right around here of 200 to 300 views a week. And then your baseline was here of 500 to 1,000 views a week. Now your new baseline moving forward is going to be, 3,000 to 4,000 views a week.
Now, what's crazy about that is, see the miniature spike right there in January. I put out 2 videos kind of similar, based on Christina's encouragement. I put out 2 videos that were similar but different. One in January, and the other one probably, I have to look at the time frame, but probably in March. Mm-hmm. Now, the part of that huge spike is those 2 videos finally getting picked up. So one thing Christina always told me that it was very hard for me to understand is that you have to give your videos time to breathe. And 2 of those videos just took off, and that's kind of what really helped my channel kind of boom at that point.
Yeah, that happens too. That happens with our channels as well.
Just put out
kind of like mediocre content, it gets some traction. Then every now and then you have one really good video that takes off, and that good video takes your channel up to the next like plateau, the next level right there.
But sometimes you have a video that you think there's like, this is what my core audience will love, and then you put it out there and you look and you're like, what the freak happened? Like you're so mad. I did one about tiny homes, shipping container homes. Totally falls into my audience. I put it out there. I got a whopping 400 views on that thing when it came out. I was so mad. I'm like, what in the world? Like, I followed exactly what I'm supposed to do. Everything. The thumbnail was similar. The last title was similar to the one before that did really well. This should have taken off like crazy. And then Malcolm says, oh, it looks like your shipping container video is doing well. I'm like, what's it at? And the last time I had checked, it had gone to like 17,000. And he's like, yeah, it's at 34,000. I'm like, no. You know? He's like, yeah. So I don't even know what it's at now. But I was like, sometimes it takes a minute for YouTube to figure out what the heck's going on.
And so how many months after you published that video did that one start taking off for you?
That like, I think it's like
weeks.
6 weeks old now, you know, the shipping container house one.
Yeah. It's just how it happens. That's just YouTube. It's funny sometimes, you know?
Uh-huh. Yeah. I'm looking it up right now. Yeah. That is, 5 weeks old. Yeah. So it's at 38,000 right now.
Yeah. I mean, that's good. I mean, that'll hit 100,000 at some point.
Hopefully.
But yeah, I mean, you know, the ideal situation, as soon as you publish a video, it takes off and spikes off. But yeah, it just doesn't always happen, unfortunately.
Nope.
So Jeremy, how many leads do you think you're generating from your YouTube channel now? I know you're always talking about how many you're getting.
I'd say at minimum leads a week from YouTube, at minimum 6 now.
Damn, dude, that's huge. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's been interesting.
In just 6 months, you're able to change your channel completely around, and you got this lead generation machine working for you now. And those leads will continue to come in like indefinitely, pretty much.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've gotten to the point, and I've gotten to the point that I'm either in need of an assistant, a full-time assistant, or another wife.
Yeah, so you're gonna clone your wife. That's what I was gonna say. You're gonna have to clone your wife.
Yeah, but for people that don't get that, my wife is my buyer's agent, and all were a buyer's agent, and she also does a lot of the back end work. So I'm the one having fun making videos, and let's say as I tell people, I'm the show, she's the dough, and so I need another one of her because she's like, I can't keep up. So.
I mean, that's a great problem to have right there.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Poor Jeremy. I feel so bad. Bless your heart.
Yeah, bless my heart. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a catch-22. I mean, but the great thing is, like, you could take a couple months off, and you're still going to get those, 5 to 6 leads a week. It may trickle down a little bit, but you're still you got a lead generation machine there now.
I wanted to ask a question, Jeremy.
Sure.
Before this, what did you learn about thumbnails and titles?
Well, number one, I didn't really know, like, if you look at some of my older stuff, I still don't have thumbnails on some of my older videos. I didn't really realize how important a thumbnail was. I didn't realize how important a title was. Not to throw anybody under the bus, but there was an agent that did a podcast with another agent that was supposed to be the guru of YouTube. And I started, okay, this is how I'm going to do my thumbnails, and this is how I'm going to do my titles. And nothing happened. And so really, in that time frame when I started kind of learning more, like that January time frame, there's videos where Christina would like literally make me a thumbnail because she's like, your thumbnail is terrible. Just send me a picture of your face, like literally. And so the one thing that's, been a struggle, and we've joked about on the pages is, face or no face. 2 of my best videos don't have my face on them. And then my other ones are doing okay, have my face on them. So it's interesting. And then one I just put out had like 24% click-through rate, and it was my face doing like that. And so one of the funny things, though, is I've seen a lot of people who think your thumbnails have to be a certain way. I would just say, if you're doing thumbnails, make sure they're clickable. That's it. And whatever clickable is for your content is whatever it is for you. It's not 100% the same.
You got it. And the thing about it is that you have to test it. What works, even though, you have a real estate channel, other people can copy, duplicate, whatever it is what you do. But some people are attached to a person's personality, so their face would work better. What's the matter?
I just got another email looking to buy and invest in Austin.
See?
It's amazing, man.
Right.
This YouTube stuff, shockingly enough, works, and you didn't even have to do an ad. That is organic reach, and that to me is genius.
You're lead generating right now.
I am literally lead. That's hysterical. That was probably the person that called me that just sent me the email. That's funny.
Well, good.
Yeah.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
Now, I do want to point out, so, I have to point out, I am in Austin, which is a very hot market. Mm-hmm. Now, there are agents that they're putting a lot of content out. I'm seeing them put content out about their areas, and their channels aren't doing as well. So I have to say I am a little bit lucky in the market that I'm in because, like Christina, for example, does videos on things that I don't do videos on that aren't pertaining really to real estate, like scissor containers. Malcolm's wildlife adventure channel is insanely good. You better keep that up, and it has nothing to do with real estate. So if I did more content that didn't really pertain to real estate, I think my channel might do a little bit, or pertain to Austin, it might do, better or worse. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so it's a method, though. You have a method of release of videos. You're not putting out. See, a lot of times with real estate agents, when it comes to videos, they take the spaghetti against the wall method, and they're like, I don't know what I'm going to make this week. I guess I'll do this. But they don't tie it into any other content. So by the time that it does get released, he has a whole content schedule.
It's taped to my desk, so when I get, that's what I'm doing this week.
Yeah. So there's a reason, there's a rhythm, it's not random. There's a reason for why you made this video on this week in order for it to be more successful. Because you can put out less videos and actually have more views than the person that put out 10 videos, even if they had the same quality. It's just, you have to follow that pattern in order for the algorithm to know what your channel is truly about, so they can serve it to the right audience.
And to Jeremy's point about him being in a bigger city, I think that's absolutely true. I think people who are in big cities have huge opportunity. Mm-hmm. So I just did a Google search. So moving to Annapolis, Maryland, which is where I live, that search term gets 50 people a month search for that in Google. Moving to Austin, Texas gets 2,900 people a month who search for that search term. So, if you type in like living in Annapolis, Maryland, I got 3 videos on the first page of Google. If you had 3 videos on the first page of Google for living in Austin, Texas, I mean, you could almost get more traffic to that in a month than I do in an entire year. So it's a huge opportunity. But even with me being in a medium-sized city, I'm still making $100,000 a year just from leads that I generate off of YouTube. So there's still plenty of potential there. But yeah, if you're in a big city, like that potential is huge with YouTube.
Yeah, some of my content, I wouldn't say that I've R&D'd from another agent out of Dallas, but there is an agent out of Dallas that does very well on YouTube. I don't think she realizes how well she does, but she's got like 4,400 subs on her channel, and she puts out a video a week. I find her content extremely boring, so that's why I don't do her content or even touch her content. But there's things she talks about that pertain to Dallas that also pertain to Austin. So sometimes I go like, yeah, that would be a good video for me to do, and it falls into whatever category of video. So there's the whole know your competition, which is hysterical about that. There's 3 agents that have copied literally my videos a week after I put them out. All 3 of them put them out, and those videos do nothing.
Yeah,
they just help my videos out. So
that's funny. I've seen that happen, man. I've seen people try to copy my videos, and they're not very entertaining videos. They have the exact same title, but they don't have very good thumbnails. How they structure the videos is terrible, and the videos just don't perform at all. And that's kind of why I'm okay talking about YouTube. Like, I'm not really that worried about competition. Even if somebody was good at making videos in Maryland, like, people are going to connect with me because of my personality, and even if I had somebody else competing against me, there's enough to go around. And people are it's about building that relationship with viewers through the video.
I did see that question come up, and I want Jeremy to answer that. Can you see the question, Jeremy? Yeah. It says, how long did it take for Jeremy's algorithm to straighten out from sharing social media? It seems as if it could be a factor that drags your YouTube channel down sometimes. Yes, it does drag it down. That is correct.
I mean, Malcolm put up that timeline, and I think that timeline's fairly accurate. It took, I would say in March I stopped cold turkey. Yeah, pretty much in March, I stopped cold turkey sharing my links.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say, and if you look at my subscriber count at that point, it was probably like 330, maybe 400. And I've gained 600 since then. So I think it's about 90 days for it to really kind of straighten itself out.
Mm-hmm. That's what I tell people, 90 days.
Yeah.
I do
That's
like your
good.
last thumbnail, by the way. That was really good. Really good.
Yeah, that actually is a really good one right there. I like
As
that a
soon as
lot.
I saw that, I was like, I remember I asked him to look at my thumbnail because I was like, as soon as I saw his, I was like, golly, that's a good thumbnail.
And so Jeremy, so how many videos you pumping out right now, as well?
A video a week. I was doing 2 for like when COVID started. I was like, nobody wants to see my channel. Nobody's moving to Austin. I did that whole like, woe is me, for like a week. And then I looked up and Malcolm has like 3 videos that he put out all in, I was consistent with a video a week, right? Until that hit. And so I was like, oh, this sucks, whatever. And then Malcolm's putting out videos about masks, making like a bajillion views. And I'm like, okay. And then Malcolm puts out another video. I'm like, dang, what is this guy doing? Just doing videos all day? What am I doing wrong? Like, why am I not putting out content? And so I put out 2 videos right out that were great videos, I felt, but did nothing. I did a meme video and like places to visit in Austin video. And I realized that nobody, and I had done other videos like that in the past, nobody cares on my channel about that stuff. And so I was like, okay, lesson learned. And then I started going back to the well that was making me money. So
yeah, so much of this is figuring out your audience and what works with them and what doesn't. But yeah, when COVID-19 first hit, so April, I had 0 closings in April, which is the first time I've had 0 closings in a month in like forever. And I was like, okay, well, my real estate's done for. I'm done. I'm gonna be a full-time YouTuber instead. And I just started pumping out content for about a month there in April, and then May came around, and it's a floodgate of buyers in May, and I had 5 closings in May, and yeah, man, then the market really started picking up there. But there was like a time period where the market was pretty much dead.
I know, like, I know for myself, it was like, what just happened? Like, why are people calling me? I just want to make videos. I'm like, man, this real estate stuff is like really hard. I'm like, I have to negotiate contracts and go show houses. What happened?
Yeah, now I've got the opposite problem. I don't have enough time to make videos. I haven't uploaded to my real estate channel in over a month now, which like kills me on the inside. I don't like that, but it's just hard to find time, and I don't want to put up like poor quality content. I have some kind of minimum standard now that I don't want to fall below with my content.
Right. I know what you're saying. Like, you're like, I have to spend time on it. Like, in order for, and the thing is that, and I know this for myself, that you'd be surprised because if a video does take off, they end up watching your other stuff. So if you start, like, if you have that one that you did really, really great and you really put it together, and then you have one that's kind of off, they're like, ooh, what's this? Like, so it does pay, even though it may have not gotten found then, but it's going to get found at some point again. It's not gone unless you erase it. So just try to put everything you can in every single video.
Yeah, that's my view on it, that it could cost you subscribers. Let's say they find your cool video by moving to Austin, Texas, and then YouTube suggests them another one of your videos, and it's a crappy video. You just missed out on that opportunity. Yep. Or if they say, wow, what a cool video, let me go check out this guy's channel, and they stumble across one of your crappy videos, like, oh, you just missed that opportunity for a subscriber there.
Especially when you go to a meme video about Texas. I want to take that video. It was I love that video, but like, because
I've got a video like that.
I'm cracking on HEB, I'm cracking on Whataburger, I'm cracking on everything Texas, and like literally, it's like all these thumbs down and like 30. It's like an 8-minute video with only like 20% actual watch time. I'm like,
wow, that's pretty bad. Yeah, I mean, you didn't approach it right then.
I must not have.
Like
I have one about the real reason for open house. Still one of my favorite videos of all time. Now that I watch it, I think I was a little long-winded, but even still, still one of my top favorite videos I've ever made. That video has never done anything. Still love that video though.
It's funny how that happens sometimes. Yeah, my last video, 15-year versus 30-year mortgage. Man, I don't know why. I don't know. It's kind of a dumb topic, but I was really proud of that video. I analyzed every potential possible reason why one's better than the other. And yeah, that video's, I don't know, 1,500 views or so. It's not really
that
doing
one.
all
I
that
think
well.
will take off later if you continue to make content about mortgages and the comparison.
Yeah, I need to.
I still think that's a good video topic. People like financial differences, when it comes to real estate and you're really good with numbers, if you can make videos about numbers, your channel will do well.
Yeah.
Because everything that I've seen, every channel that I know is like in that top tier real estate channel. They're all about investing, different types of mortgages, different kinds of loans, anything about numbers.
Yeah, and that's the direction I want to take that channel to over time. Partially because those topics, they get paid more money from the ads. Yeah, so Jeremy, that's something you'll learn now, is that you have your CPM, which is the amount the advertisers pay per 1,000 views on your channel, and some topics the advertisers simply pay more money than other topics. And on my outdoor channel, for example, the CPM is literally half as much as it is on the real estate channel. So anything to do with real estate and finance, advertisers just pay more money for it, for those ads playing on top of it.
Yeah, but you got your Amazon links, and you're selling those like cool switchblade knives off of there. So
yeah, that's how I kind of compensate for that on my outdoor channel. I make almost as much from Amazon affiliate links than I do from the ads that are played on there. What I really need is have some sort of product or something, or like a book that I could sell on that channel. Really, the best way to monetize is to get leads for your real estate business. That's the best possible way to make money.
But if you could start, I don't know. Like I think the deal I got going is pretty good.
Right. Yes. You and your affiliate with pretty much a home builder. I mean, that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely gotta go down that road a little bit further, see if you can get some other business relationships. How's that video doing for you? The boxable one.
It's at like 86,000, something like that, 84,000 views, which is good. And then it continues to grow. But I'm trying to find my CPMs currently. I was trying to see if I can find it through my phone.
While you're doing that, let's answer this question from Living in Savannah. So his question is, so you're saying not to share video links on social media, Facebook, Instagram, etc. Very correct. I don't even text my links anymore. Now I will to specific clients. Like if somebody's like, hey, I want people to reach out to me, and I'll say, hey, yeah, it's on my channel. It's under this, and they can't find it, so I'll send them the link. I very rarely text links anymore. Christina busted me for that. Stop sending me your links. She said it just like that, like pretty much. So
I can hear her voice in my head.
Yes,
yeah,
it
that's
was
exactly
just like
what
that.
Sounds like.
I do share my links though on Twitter. I just wanted to test it out to see if there was. And the guy that called me yesterday, moving from California, looking for $1 million property, literally was like, yeah, I looked you up. I saw you on Twitter. I found your account, and I started watching your YouTube videos from Twitter.
Wow.
So
that's interesting. I've never seen that before.
Yeah. So I don't know how Twitter plays into it. I don't know if Twitter's actually hurting my videos. It might be. So my next video I put out is actually about Elon Musk. So I think I got to tweet that one out, because I mean he's moving to Austin. So
tag him in it.
He's gonna have to buy a house for me.
That boxable video, he like tagged Elon Musk in that video. Like he had made a joke saying that he would like to put the boxable on Mars, and he made like a little like infographic of the little boxable landing on Mars. Well, that secretary contacted him, and they wanted them to have those boxables for their community out in Texas. And so it doesn't hurt to tag them. If I would attach some kind of little video with it in order to tag them, though. Yeah, it has to be visual. He doesn't have time to read.
Yeah, Musk's a hardcore engineer. He'd probably
Yeah.
really appreciate that Boxable company and what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool. So what's your Twitter strategy? So do you have a like living in Austin Twitter account or something, or just a Jeremy Knight Twitter account?
Yeah, it's a super basic. I could care less about Twitter, to be honest with you. I've probably been on Twitter once a week, and that's just to post my video. So yeah, I don't really have a strategy for Twitter. I'm sure there's people that do. I do like Instagram a lot more than I like anything else, but I don't post my videos on Instagram at all.
Yeah, but yeah, so yeah, I typically don't share my videos on Facebook either, just because it's unless it's the right audience. So I've got an Annapolis Connect Facebook group. It's all about my local city. And sometimes I'll share my videos in there, and that's because it's all people living in my city. So if I make a video about my city, like that's the exact audience that I want for my videos. But I don't share it on my personal page that has 1 million real estate agents and people from all around the country. I don't share it in real estate Facebook groups or any of that nonsense, because it's just going to get the wrong people to your channel. They're not going to watch very long, and it's probably just not going to help anything in the end. And people talk about how Facebook's got billions of active monthly users. Well, so does YouTube. YouTube's got billions and billions of monthly active users, almost as much as Facebook, not quite as much. And there's plenty of ways to get discovered on YouTube. And instead of sharing stuff on social media, you want to just focus on how to optimize your content to get shared and discovered on YouTube.
But the attention span of the person on YouTube is widely more extensive than the user that's on Facebook. A Facebook user, literally, you better get their attention, because most likely they're just going to do this. That's what Facebook users. But on YouTube, it's like a TV show. They're ready to sit there and watch a video from beginning to end as long as it's interesting enough. So if I'm making videos, I learned the hard way after doing it on YouTube, Facebook for quite some time, and switching over to YouTube. I'd much rather use that time for a YouTube video than anything on Facebook. It's just, I think Facebook is one of those things that's like that hot date. You know, you have that hot date, everything goes so good, everybody seems so happy, like, oh my gosh, can't wait for them to call me again. And then like 3 days later, you're like, how come the phone hasn't rang?
Right.
You know, like, we really
had
a great
I got 500
time.
views.
Yeah, I got like 1,500 views, and I got like 30 likes these, and I just don't understand no one's calling. You know, it just, I don't know.
It's funny to see real estate agents who do Facebook videos really well, and then they try to transition over to YouTube, and they totally struggle. Yeah. Like they'll say, oh, I know how to do video. I'm a video expert. And they teach people about video, and they just really struggle on YouTube, the video platform. And it really is just a different culture, different expectation from the users.
Well, I think I got, when a lot of these real estate video groups came out, and I was doing more of a YouTube format, even though I was doing it on Facebook, I kind of got oh, that's cute, but you really need to do this, this, and this. I'm like, no, I don't. Because if I do that, that's not going to work, you know. But they had it in their head because that's what was successful for them on Facebook. And I'm like, I don't care less about Facebook views. They're pathetic. You know, I don't know. To me, Facebook is the biggest waste of time. For me personally, I know people that have made a career out of posting a bunch of nonsense on Facebook, but I would rather have my eyes spooned out by hamsters than to waste more time on Facebook than I have to.
Yeah, Facebook views are kind of bullshit, honestly.
Yeah, I agree.
A view on Facebook is 3 seconds. 85% of all views on Facebook are without any sound on whatsoever. And if somebody just has 51% or more of that video automatically playing on their screen for 3 seconds or longer, they count that as a view. On YouTube, they count an impression as their thumbnail being displayed on the screen for 1 second or longer. So a view on Facebook is much closer to an impression on YouTube. And YouTube counts a view as 30 seconds or longer of them actually watching the video. So it's much similar to an impression. And heck, I get millions and millions of impressions on my on my YouTube thumbnails, but those are not views, and they shouldn't be counted the same. But Facebook does that because they want you to pay to get more of those views. It makes you feel good.
Yeah, they're totally diving into that feeling, that currency that people feel when they get a like or more views, and
people do, like, you see it, like, oh, I got 200 views on my Facebook video. Oh my God.
I know.
And then they have a little pop-up for $10 more. We can get you 1,000 views. You know, that's how they hook you. It's just it's like a mobile game that's really addictive.
Yep. But when I first started on videos on Facebook, it wasn't like that. You know, they didn't. It was much easier to get people to watch your content, and they would watch it the whole way through. They thought it was hysterical. And then as soon as that like pay to play platform on, on business pages, once that came in, it was like literally somebody just went ahead and turned off the lights on your videos.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, if you want anybody to see it, like they used to see it, you're going to have to pay for it. And nothing confirmed what I was thinking and how I felt about that. Like listening to Michael Stelzner, who runs Social Media Marketing World. Mm-hmm. And he said that video on Facebook is not going to work like it did. He's like, we're not even doing it anymore. He stopped even live streaming on Facebook because it just wasn't worth it. And then he moved it to YouTube and it was doing fine.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Because even a live stream show, it just doesn't. I think people get bored with them as much as we love to talk. But for some reason, when you go on YouTube, you could do that same exact show and those people will sit there and they're much more engaged. They're more willing to have conversations. They'll actually, like if you have super chats on, they actually even give you like super chats. They'll tip you.
Right.
You know,
you can make money on YouTube from doing those live streams. I think people are getting a little sick of live streams right now. Every brokerage out there is doing them. Everybody's sick of Zoom calls right now, and I think a lot of people are getting kind of tired of them.
Well, a lot of them
I have to
really
interject
suck.
though. I'm not tired of Zoom calls because part of our strategy is when somebody comes in and they want to talk to us, we say, "Great, let's set up a Zoom call." Eileen and I sit and do a Zoom call with them. And the people we sit and do, there we go. The people that we sit and do Zoom calls with have all closed. The people we have not done Zoom calls with have not closed or been harder to nail down.
Okay.
That's very interesting. Yeah. I'm not really doing a whole lot of Zoom calls.
I'm telling you, if you're working out of town buyer and you sit and do a Zoom call, it is worth its weight because especially if they found you on YouTube, right? They've already know you. Now they can actually speak to that person. And when you do it over the phone, it's like, okay, great, I can talk to you. But when you're doing it in person, now you're putting that person that you've watched 18 videos on, you're connecting more. I have not lost one of those Zoom calls yet. There are ones that they'll call me, we'll have an hour conversation, and then I'll follow up a couple days later. Oh yeah, I literally had this happen. I called Christina, this happened. Pissed me off. So mad. Like I spent an hour talking with this guy from California. All the blah, 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 asked me every single question. We were supposed to do a Zoom call on Friday. Thursday, I called him to verify, hey, just wanted to make sure we're still doing our call tomorrow. Oh yeah, we actually bought a house. We went on Zillow, found a house, and somebody gave us a realtor. And I'm like, we sat and talked for an hour and a half. Yeah. So that's why I do all the Zoom calls. I try to get them almost same day.
That's interesting. Yeah, I got to start doing more Zoom calls then. I mean,
makes sense.
So here's the truth, man. I mean, I've got so many leads coming in. I'm terrible at converting them. Honestly, I don't even do lead follow up or anything. I only really convert the most motivated people who follow up with me because I forget all about them. But it's still working out. It's got enough coming in that I don't really have to be that good at following up with people.
I'm the worst.
I
haven't tried at all this year. I mean, I literally have put a tablespoon of effort into my real estate career this year, and I'm totally fine with it. Totally fine.
Yeah, I've had issues that too, where we're getting a ton of leads. I try to talk to them. So I've done a much better job the last few weeks of getting them into Lion Desk. We use Lion Desk, EXP, we have KV Core. But I get them in the Lion Desk and I have all the follow-ups and I have it like texting me, because that was a problem we were running into as well. Like somebody came out, I forgot that they were coming out. I didn't put them in my calendar, and they're like, oh yeah, no problem. We found a house. Like, and this happened the other day. Oh yeah, we got a house up in Liberty Hill. We thought you were busy, so we didn't want to bother you.
Oh, geez. Yeah, that's frustrating.
Yeah. So yeah, the following up with leads is key if you want to do a lot of business. But I mean, you could probably do a lot of business without following up too. So
yeah. I mean, that's always been my hardest part, is following up with people. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of taking my foot off the gas pedal and just kind of cruising these days, and it's still working out for me so far. I could do so much more in volume and transactions if I actually like put some effort into it, but I want to make YouTube. I want to make YouTube videos.
I know.
Real estate's getting in my way.
I know.
That's true. I mean, I've thought about it too. Like, okay, if I do this, if I go do videos full time, I could do 2 videos a week. I'd have to film X days. I'd have to send 1 video out to my video editor. I have an editor, but he's only done like 3 videos for me. I could send out a video to him. I could edit 1, and I could keep shooting and do 2 videos a week. The problem is, how do I manage the real estate side of that? It's very challenging just to do that in itself. So what I run into is like, okay, but now if I bring on another team member, that's, however you do your splits, plus then, my wife has to like take on more, which, let's face it, she takes on too much as it is. And so it's like, how do I manage a team and still do all of that? So that's kind of the gray area I'm in. I could up the content and maybe, now that I'm monetized, make some more money. But at the same time, I have so many calls coming in, which is great problem to have. Where's the ROI, and where do I put my money to, get that money back?
100%. Yeah. That's the challenging part right there, is there's obviously different business models you can go after. You can start a team, but a team is a big investment of time as well.
Everybody,
I did it.
Yeah.
Everybody I
sucked.
know. Everybody I know says the same thing. They say, oh, I built this team up, and after everything was said and done, and my own time that I invested into those people that I put on my team that ended up leaving and ended up costing me money to hire somebody else, they said I was making the same amount of money, if not less. Yeah, it looked like on paper I was making more, but it was that team thing is like a big giant hassle.
Statistically, most people make less money the first year that they start a team than they did just as a solo agent. It's because their leads are not converting as well. The conversion rate goes down. You're spending more time training a new agent than you are converting your leads. So that's the path. That is the ultimate. That is the path that you have to take eventually. But it sucks. It's a pain in the neck, and it's a big time commitment. It takes away from making YouTube videos.
One of our top agents, Jennifer Burns, she did it with a couple teams. Like, she built up teams, I think 2 or 3 times. But eventually people get tired and they want to move on. So then she'd have to do something else, and it stressed her out. Like it was mentally stressing her out to be at that level. It's just a lot. That's a lot to take on. You don't need to be there to feel or be successful. And don't let anybody tell you, like, unless you're doing this kind of volume, that blah, 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 baloney. If you are happy and you're making your money and everything, just because you don't have a team or whatever does not make you less of a real estate agent. So don't even fall into that trap at all.
I can tell you from my experience on building a team, we did it. My first year in real estate, I was up with KW, Rookie of the Year. Everybody was like, how are you doing all of this? And I didn't even have my wife at that time really on my team. She came in like 10 months into me having a license and running things. And then I brought another buyer's agent like 4 months later. And for 7 months, we grinded and grinded and grinded. We did 70. I went from 26 or 30 transactions by myself to 74 transactions the next year. I made less money and was going broke.
What? I
was going broke. Absolutely going broke. I had to have Tom Ferry coaching, right? KW, you got to have, this isn't a knock against KW, but they tell you to grow a team and all that. So I was getting the Tom Ferry coaching. I was doing the bolds. I was paying for all of this stuff. And I was doing all this stuff, which, I was getting business, right? But I was losing money hand over fist. I went from like literally almost had to get real estate in my second year until I got rid of the team and it was just my wife and I, and we got rid of all the costs, all the CRM tools, the websites, everything. And I literally shaved off $6,000 a month.
Ooh.
$6,000 a month in stuff that I was paying for. The next year 3, I made so much money I didn't know what to do with it.
Oh, that tax! I hate that though. When you do that,
I mean, I just didn't. It was
those taxes. Wait, like when you write that check, it's like
I mean,
terrible.
I literally paid before this. I was a manager for Costco. I paid in taxes that third year what I made. No joke.
Yeah,
so,
that's fantastic though.
I paid in taxes. That's what I knew. I was like, damn, that was a good year. I paid in taxes what I made on my best year as a hairdresser.
Yep.
The best year I ever had cutting hair is what I paid in taxes. That year I just blew it out of the water. I was like, damn. That was a tough check to write though. I mean, like when I was writing that check, I'm like, this hurts so much. It hurts.
So you got a pretty good situation though, that you got your wife there working with you as well. So it's kind of like you're moving that team direction, but you're not
She's
really.
The brains.
I would love it.
She's all the brains.
I'm honest with people, like really, like everybody's like, oh, you do so great. I'm like, the reality is, I do probably 15 to 20 listings myself. I probably help 5 or 6 buyers myself. And we do about 50, 55 transactions a year. Remember, we went from 74 with a team down to 55, and we're making way more money. So if that tells you anything about a team, but it's 50-50. I know that if I got a lead, I send it to her, she's going to close it. So that's the difference. I mean, I do have a team, yes, but I don't have a team as well.
Right.
So it's one of those things. If I was 50-50, I'd be like, I'm going to have to actually work a heck of a lot more and stop doing YouTube because I need some more money.
I think it's good to have a relationship with another real estate agent that isn't necessarily a team, but is really interested in working with buyers, because I'm not. So when you have those listings and you get those buyer leads, you could give that to them and you have that cooperation type of relationship instead of like saying, oh, they're on Team Smallhorn. You just work it out like with just a piece of paper and an addendum so they can get paid. That to me works 10 times better. It's less headache. There's not a lot of tension, and everybody's happy. I don't know. That's how I do it. I find somebody that's really interested in taking buyers. And like this last time I let the girl put her own sign in the yard. She works for Keller Williams. I didn't even care. I'm like, I don't want the buyer leads. You throw your sign out there. I don't want to deal with them.
Yeah, I mean that's the ultimate direction though, is that you need to get these YouTube leads and give them to somebody else. And I'm kind of working on that right now. I got somebody that I'm working. I got one person I want to add to my team, and I'm slowly like working with them. I sure as hell don't want like 5 brand new agents on my team. That sounds like a freaking nightmare. And then I got my sister-in-law. She's an agent in this area as well, and she's got 3 under contract right now. They're YouTube leads of mine that I just didn't have time to work with, and I gave her to her. And like that's fine and all. I get a little referral fee, but it's like relatively not all that much. If I get a $2,000 referral check, but
anything for me not to be in the sunshine, I'm totally fine because it's freaking hot here. So hot it makes me nauseated. So I'd much rather get that like $1,000 that I didn't have to drive around in than the 3,500 whatever. Thank you. I'll gladly take it.
So Amy says YouTube is like going to the library to get info, and Facebook is like passing the billboard on the way to the library. Yeah, that's kind of a good. Yeah, like you kind of quickly see something in Facebook versus really sitting down and watch it. Facebook is like open houses. Agents do them because the public thinks that is what their agents should do. I agree with that. I think that most people's business pages are absolutely useless. I don't think that they get any business or anything from their having a business page at all.
They used to be good. No, I will say in like 2016 and younger, when they first came out, they were really like, I was actually thinking of getting rid of my website because Facebook was so good.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like, it was so like anybody could have done it, you really, an idiot could have done it. Well, then the word got out. Like these,
The idiots started doing it.
Yeah, the morons started doing it, and then Facebook was like, "Oh, you want to advertise with it?" The only reason I use my Facebook page, occasionally I will share a article or maybe even a video, but I strictly use it to make ads for my listings, and it does work to advertise a house that's for sale. I believe that truly, if you make the right kind of video for an ad, because they're going to be different than a typical listing video. But if you make that good square video and tell details of that house, they do work. It does get you buyer leads.
And I think that I like the groups in Facebook as well. The Facebook groups, like our YouTube one is great. And then I've got a local one for my city as well. Do you guys have any local Facebook groups? Do you guys play around with that at all?
The only reason I come on Facebook is for this specific group and other YouTube groups.
Yeah.
And then if I really want to make myself angry, I start looking at my timeline, and then I start unfriending people because I realize, like, oh my God, I'm a genius and these people are really dumb. And so I just unfriend.
I do that all the time. I do that to everybody. I'm a genius. This guy's dumb.
Unfriend. Unfriend. If anything helped me clean out my Facebook friend list, like this situation, I mean, there has not been a time in my life.
Because of politics. Okay.
Politics, COVID, any of it, like, and then I realized I am friends with so many people. I have no idea who they are. Like, what made me say, okay, yeah, I'm going to accept this. Who, like Lois Anderson in, Tubacan, Tennessee. Like,
you're friends
I don't
with her
know
too?
you.
Yes.
I don't even know. Like, how did we accept these friend requests from all these people?
Yeah.
Oh, well, they are a real estate agent. So you're like, they're a realtor. So you say yes, but then you're like, why? Why did you do that? I don't know. I unfriend them.
I've gone through, and if I get a real estate agent send me a friend request, or a lender, or I click and they got some, like, you can tell, like, they got that flashy background where it's, oh, you're an entrepreneur or whatever. I'm like, nope. Now I do friend from the groups, like the YouTube groups, those agents I'll friend, except for Paul. I should probably unfriend Paul, but shout out Paul. Love you, man.
Zing.
But yeah, so God, we talked about something a second ago. Oh, Facebook groups. Okay. The dirty secret is you have to create a moving to group for your city. It takes a lot of time.
Yes.
I don't have one, but I'm in a couple, and
that somebody else built up that he gets.
Somebody else built up, but they're not. The person that created this one wasn't a real estate agent.
Lucky.
Now, here's what was happening with me, and I was sharing my YouTube links. Somebody be like, "Oh, I have a question about this," and so I'd share my YouTube link. Hey, I have a video on that. I kept getting kicked out of the group. And I come back, the admins are like, oh, yeah, come back in. What? I don't know why you got kicked out. Well, other agents were flagging every time I would put a YouTube link in there. They would flag it. So now I just say, hey, I've got a really great video on there. Just YouTube my name.
Even better.
Yep.
So,
well, it's better for your algorithm.
Yes.
It is.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. If they see people are searching for Jeremy Knight, that is a good signal to it.
I've closed a couple people out of that group, but I mean, I'm not like, I quit spending time in there because they had a lot of stupid questions. Like somebody said last night, there's alligators in Austin. Why would I want to move there? I'm like, what? First time I've heard that. I've lived there 8 years.
You got to make a video all about alligators in Austin, Texas.
I'm
Make it around that one
last
comment.
night I added it to my list.
It's weird how people get misconceptions about it. Like somebody said, oh, there's so many tornadoes that go through Baton Rouge. I'm like, I mean, I've lived here for quite some time. So I've seen, a couple, and they're like, and then the hurricanes, and I'm like, lived here 14 years. I've seen like one hurricane that actually caused some damage. One hurricane, even, like Katrina, that was like, took out like all of like southern Louis, like that lower portion of New Orleans. It didn't affect up here like it did down there. Not even close. You know where all the people from New Orleans went to? Here. And they moved here.
Houston.
And they bought houses here.
They all went to Houston.
Yeah, and they went to Houston too.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Jeremy, what we should try is create a group and then have that be the call to action at the end of a few of your YouTube videos. Maybe every other YouTube video, instead of saying, "Hey, if you want to buy a home, call me, Jeremy Knight." Say, "Hey, if you want to learn more about Austin and connect with other Austinites, go join the Moving to Austin Facebook group." And then don't let any other real estate agents in that group. And that's one business model that I use right now, and I've closed several transactions from that. And my Annapolis group just reached 1,000 subscribers or 1,000 members, whatever. And like growing a group is really hard, but if you combine that with YouTube, where you have constantly getting exposure on autopilot, it's just kind of nice. It's like every day I get more and more people requesting to join that group, and you can ask them a series of questions when they join as well. So you can say, "Are you planning on moving here?" You can even ask people for their email address if you wanted to.
And you can say, "Are you a real estate agent?"
Yeah. Yeah.
That automatically
You
disqualifies.
know.
Yeah,
Wow.
that makes it so much easier. Are you currently
Why
a
is Paul trying to
licensed-
join my Facebook group? Paul, you're out.
Yeah.
I'm not a real estate agent. Liar.
Liar.
Yeah.
All right. So Ellen says, my only reason for wanting a team is for support in case I'm sick or want to take a vacation. That is nice. That is
That
nice.
is the challenge.
And I have this thing though, like if I'm sick and the people that are purchasing a house like cannot wait on me, then really they just need to, like, I don't need them as clients, because I would do that for them. You know, like the market isn't that terrible. If they can just wait like 5 minutes, I can get someone else to show the house to them. But if they're just like, "No, you have to drop everything and show it to me right this minute," like you
They're
can't
not the
wait
client
till-
for you anyway.
No, get the hell out. You know.
Yeah. And you don't even need a team for that. For a showing agent, you just need to have some good relationships with people.
That's what I'm saying.
What I usually do is sometimes I'll either give somebody 10% of my commission if I know that they're going to do a lot of showings and they're also going to go to the home inspection and go to the final walkthrough for me. I'll give somebody 10% of my commission, no problem. Or if it's just like one house, I'll pay them like $25 a door if I just need somebody to show properties one day or something like that.
I got a good question about that. So we had a showing assistant. We were paying door by door. And then Eileen was like, "Oh, let's just bring on a showing assistant and pay him 10%. So for 10%, what do they do? What do they do for 10%?
Yeah, so my showing assistant's just my sister-in-law. She's also an agent. And she does all the showings, and then she does the inspections, and then she does the final walkthrough with the client as well. And I mean, you know, if I get a $8,000 commission and I have to give up, you know, $800 of it, like I'm okay with that, considering I never had to leave my room or my office. You know, that's more time for me to spend making YouTube videos. That's leverage right there, and those are pretty good numbers, I think. So Ellen says, my daughter and son-in-law are talking about getting their licenses. Probably a better plan than a big team. Yeah, start a family team.
Absolutely. A lot less headache.
Yeah,
Because they feel
absolutely.
indebted to you, and they won't give you a line of baloney like, "My dog has an ingrown toenail, so I can't go show houses today." They can't give you any of that nonsense.
Yeah, like if you started a team and they didn't like you or something, or they wanted to leave the team, like they could really screw you over. Like just not show up to a showing or something like that. You know, and I don't know. I definitely, having family members part of your team is a really good idea.
Especially your wife. Ugh.
John says, "Don't you dare unfriend me, Christina." Well, John, it's very simple. Don't post anything about religion, politics, masks, anything like that. I don't care if for or against any of it. I don't care what side of the fence you're on. If you post that nonsense, you're unfriended, no matter who it is. I don't even care what it is. As soon as I see it, I go unfriend.
Christina and I aren't even friends on Facebook anymore.
Nope,
she
we're
blocked
done.
me.
Nope, we're done. That's it.
She blocked you too? Jeez.
It's like her son, or her daughter, and her husband. That's it. That's her only
Yeah.
friends on Facebook.
Yeah, my dad too. I let him get it.
And
He
your
gets a
dad.
pass, but he doesn't post politics, so I'm proud of him.
Ken says, love the Facebook group idea. What information do you provide within the group? The YouTube videos or local events? Yeah, so I pay my sister-in-law $2 a day to make a post every single day in that group. So $60 a month. And every day she finds some article about Annapolis or some local event or something going on and just shares it in that group. And then whenever I find something happening in the city, I post it in there. And if you ever make questions like, what's the best sushi restaurant or what's the best pizza restaurant in Annapolis, those things always get tons and tons of engagement in the Facebook groups. And for me, I think the real value of the Facebook group is when they first join it and you can ask them that series of questions. And I typically, if they say they're moving here, I send them a Facebook message, and then I get in a one-on-one dialogue with them right there on Facebook Messenger. And I've closed several transactions that way. So I want to talk to you guys about something. So Paul is thinking about starting a new YouTube channel, Pedaling with Paul, where he's going to do kind of like little adventures around Florida and just kind of biking and stuff. And there's the market for that. I did some research, and there are channels that's what they do. They just kind of go and explore parks and stuff. What are your thoughts on starting a second channel? Jeremy, have you ever thought about starting a second channel?
What is going on with my computer? Yeah.
Yeah, you're all frozen, man. You're holding your eyes closed for a really long time.
All right. Well, sorry. Long blink. I don't know what's going on there. So, yeah, I actually have been trying to. I have a second channel. I haven't put anything on there, but this thing is driving me nuts.
I don't know. Let me change up the style here.
No, it's like there's some weird line. I'm like, oh, there we go. No, all right, whatever. Anyway, I'll keep talking. Hey guys. All right, so I agree with starting a second channel. What I want to do different on my second channel is do more agent related stuff on my second channel, because, I do get a lot of questions about YouTube. So starting another channel for that. There's also a lot of different things I'd want to do differently for the Austin area. So yeah. Wow, that was a long answer. Jeez.
Yeah. So here's the truth. If I could go back and do it again, I think that I would have started a second channel for all my real estate educational content. Just because, now I really have two different audiences. I have people who subscribe for my real estate videos, and then I have people subscribe for my local, like Maryland and Annapolis videos. And they're really two different audiences. They really should have been on two different channels. And, now it's kind of an awkward situation where if I post something about my city, I know that 9,000 out of my 10,000 subscribers, they didn't subscribe for that type of content. So I feel like it's going to kind of hurt the performance of that content a little bit. And if I could have gone back and done it again, I would have had one channel just about my city, and then one channel like just about real estate and finance and real estate tips and advice like that. Did we lose him?
No, he came back. The thing is that whenever because my town is even smaller than your town, Malcolm. And when I did all that hyper local type of videos, they did better on Facebook. I switched because I wasn't going to pay to have somebody watch that stuff. So, right. But for YouTube, I just mention it in like the description. So that way it still gets to those people, but it still expands to a wider audience. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like one of my tags is my town.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I do that sometimes. And I also I'm a little screwy because I literally just moved about a year and a half ago. I moved about an hour and a half to a whole new city. So I have some content on my channel that's about a city I don't even live in anymore. So my channel is a bit of a mess right now.
Well, but we learned though, like if I was to do it all over again, it would not be the same as what I started with.
And sometimes you just got to take action. You just gotta go and just start making content and just start taking action. You can't get an analysis paralysis and not make a video because you're thinking too much about it.
But I think if you have a content that doesn't really relate to real estate and you're very genuinely interested in that kind of content, 100%. Do another channel. Like I love to cook, like if I really wanted to do that kind of thing, it's really actually easy for me to do those kinds of videos. I would definitely do a cooking channel. I would seriously consider it. Seriously.
Yeah. And I mean, I was talking to Paul last night. We were talking, kind of brainstorming, masterminding about his new channel he wants to start. And I told him one of the first things you got to do is go do some research on that niche and find some other channels like yours. And that'll kind of tell you if you can, what to expect with that and what's working really well in that niche. You know, what thumbnails are working, what titles are working, what topics of the videos are working as well. And he wants to start one where he's pedaling around different parts of Florida. And there are channels like that where people go to different, I saw some where they go to the different like national parks around the country and they kind of pedal through there. A lot of them are like touring bikes and stuff. So a lot of like GoPro footages and everything. So that's kind of the first step to that, is do some research into the channel. I think we lost Jeremy. He got bored with us.
I gotta go.
You gotta go?
It's
all right.
It's been an hour. I do have to go.
All right.
I do want to say something really quick. I owe Mr. Man I can't even think of his name but I owe him a microphone. He is gonna get his microphone. I just haven't gone out to the post office. I have it. It's still available to you. I didn't forget about you. I just have been lazy.
She's being lazy, guys.
Yeah, it happens.
All right. Well, that's probably a good place for us to end it since we lost Jeremy.
Okay. Well, Jeremy's doing great. I want to say major congratulations for him to get the over 1,000 subscribers and the 4,000 watch hours, and he will be monetized really soon, which is a great, fantastic accomplishment.
And he'll hit 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year. That's my prediction.
Easily. I want to get to 50.
It's momentum right there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye. See you later.
Bye-bye.